So it's all about customer experience to prevent churn and to manage the loyalty of customers.
Welcome back to our interview series happening today at the ATxEnterprise, part of the ATX Singapore show. And this is me, Tara Neal, the executive editor of the Fast Mode. And we are talking from the Singapore Expo. And with me today, we have Hendra Saputra, who's the CMO of U9 Myanmar. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, Tara, for having us here in the show at ATxSG. Yeah.
Awesome. And if you guys know, the U9 is a Myanmar operator and they've just rebranded September last year. So let's start with that. You know, U9 is a very catchy name. So what's behind the rebranding?
Okay, so U9 is formerly known for Ooredoo Myanmar. And last year in September 2025, we rebranded ourselves to U9. So U9 is basically coming in from unity. Unity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there is unity in a way that we want the whole country also to unite within one values and one experience and all of that. But also number 9 is very lucky number in Myanmar.
Oh, I
so
see.
we're trying to bring an international brand to become something that is very relevant locally.
Okay.
Right, so that's why we rebranded to U9.
Yeah, I guess because from a marketing point of view, it's important that, you know, you bring a brand that resonates with the locals, right?
Yes.
And so let's dive into some of the areas, you know, that when it comes to marketing, we know one of the things that telcos trying to do is identify different segments and then personalize services, you know, for the segments, and you know the term hyper-personalization, right? So in that sense, which customer segments are becoming the most valuable growth drivers for U9?
Right. So in U9, we don't think of the customer segment that have high growth demographically, because that's what usually marketers do, right?
Yes, that's the conventional thinking.
Conventional thinking is how to think about customer demographically. But for us, we want to think about the value growth, right? So for example, in telco, you know, the high value customers. There's also the middle part. So we want to meet where customer value is, right? And then grow them. In a sense that we give them, incentivize them to use more, but based on their behavior and all that. So our strategy will always be, okay, for the high value customer, how can we keep them longer? How can we entice them with the new offers and everything else? But also how can the middle part to be growing a lot more, right? So that's our overall strategy.
Yeah, I think, you know, we all work on this term which we call customer lifetime value, right? And maximizing that lifetime value, because we know that, you know, there are so many segments, they want to spend.
Correct.
Okay, they are looking for certain services, but identifying those services and then bringing that to the right segment is something that, you know, the CX side of things, the CMO side of things,
Correct.
You know, that's your portfolio, and that's a very interesting portfolio today, because there's so many services that operators are bringing to the market, right?
And also we're looking at this more behaviorally. So for example, there's a lot of dual SIMmer in Myanmar. So people with multiple SIM and a lot of them. So our job is to make sure what kind of usage that they can do. For example, there's this new movie or there's this new content that is available. So entice them with that knowledge of, okay, you can find something here that is very useful. So instead of pushing out on lower prices and all of that, if you entice people with, hey, this is how you can use the service, then they will come and use you more and more, right? So that's the strategy.
Providing more value.
Providing more value.
And trading it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting. So, you know, the one of the major topics that we hear in shows like this, and generally in telco, would be AI, right?
Right.
Okay, AI is moving at such rapid speed. Now we have the term traditional AI, because there's a new AI that has come in, Agentic AI.
Agentic AI.
So they say Agentic AI versus traditional AI. So that's how fast we are evolving. So how are operators, including U9, are using AI and other advanced technologies like AI to improve personalization? And also in terms of targeting and in terms of building and creating campaigns and delivering them. So what's AI doing in this space?
Okay, so for us, AI is not replacing a lot of decision making, but especially to what you mentioned, personalization, right? Personalization is about targeting the right people at the right moment and giving them the right offer.
Okay.
And so for all of this, we need precision.
Yeah.
So AI for us is automating the precision part. So how can we identify which customer segment? You used to take, like, you write a lot of queries, you do a lot of modeling and everything else. So now all of that can be done by agentic AI. So there are automation or small agents that we can use to find those segments and then find the right moments. But then all of that coming in as a plan for the campaigners, for the campaigners to be able to decide which one, which offer and everything else. And once the campaigner is approved, then it goes. So actually it's like a co-pilot, the term that Microsoft is putting out, which is exactly that. So AI is a co-pilot for campaigners to do a lot of this. Yeah.
Yes, and I guess, as operators, target to move towards more autonomous operations, right?
Yeah.
They just want, they want to use AI capabilities to automate all these processes. Like what you said, from creating the campaign and delivering the campaign, choosing the segments to begin with, and also choosing how you want to deliver this campaign. There are many mechanisms to get in touch with your customers, many types of offers, many types of bundles that you can offer. So I guess when you automate that, we are talking about, BSS capabilities, campaign management capabilities. And I guess there's a lot of investments in that. But for operators, having that kind of capability is important today. We have customers who are very discerning. And churn is something that operators try to avoid. So we need those tools, I guess.
Correct, correct, Tara. And I think in terms of churn, another thing is usually competitors or operators would counteract churn by providing lower offer or lower price offer.
Prices,
So you can only get or lower down price so much until it hurts your business, right? So the approach that we're doing is slightly different. So there's a few talks here that is also very relevant to what we're doing. So there's a talk from Circles and also from Langham here in the session. So it's about converting utility to experience, right? So if we treat customer right, and if we treat customer experience as high priority, it's similar to hospitality.
Oh, yes.
Right? So it's very similar to hospitality. So, and the experience, even though you're using AI to get to the right moment, but for customer, it's seamless. They don't know that this is AI. They just know that, oh, U9 is caring for them. U9 is giving them the right offer at the right moment. So it's all about customer experience to prevent churn and to manage the loyalty of customers.
Wow, yeah. I guess that's the goal that telcos are aiming for. And that is why we are hearing today at this show the issue of governance as well. Okay, so they want AI to do all this for us, but at the same time, telcos are very telcos want to do it responsibly, right? And then they have the governance and the guardrails to make sure the AI decisions still are being what you call managed carefully to make sure that all the offers that go out to the right person as what we intended to.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And the other thing that we want to talk about is about competition, right? We know competition is intensifying across the industry, and we talk about commoditization, and you just said, we don't want to keep slashing prices until there's just nothing more.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what strategies do you think are proving to be effective in strengthening customer loyalty and also reducing churn?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the priority for us is making sure customer gets the right experience and make it as easy as possible for them, right? So for example, if you want to buy a SIM card, that journey from the beginning needs to be as seamless as possible, right? And then second thing, whenever you call to our customer call center, for example, or you're interacting with us through digital, how can we make sure that they're feeling heard? Because of course, there's no operator without any issue, right? All operators, all telco will have like network down, slow down.
That's the reality.
That's the reality of it. But how can we make sure every time customer feel that they are feeling heard and they know exactly that we are doing something to help them? So it's about building that customer experience and putting customer first, right? That will help a lot in terms of loyalty and managing churn.
And I think, you really, addressed the very crucial point that the whole journey is important from the beginning to the end. And, by the time they come to the contact center, usually they will call because there's some grievance, there's some complaint, right?
And this is where agentic AI plays a lot of role, because there's when agentic AI can help then consolidate all of this into a very easy insight for customer care, so they know exactly where to meet the customer. So for example, let me give you an example that we've implemented is that we know all the previous historical transaction of our customers, and then we summarize that into a small context window that whenever the customer champion answer the call, they would already know, oh, when the last time his customer is calling, what is the problem, and what is the probability of his problem right now, right? So even before customer say it, if you can do proactive measures like, oh yes, there's some network incident on your areas and everything else, and it will be resolved in the next 24 hours, then customer will feel, oh, they know I'm calling because of this and I'm feeling hurt, right? So that's the kind of things that agentic AI can really help.
Yes. I guess, you're pointing out something very important, like knowing that you're being heard.
Yes.
Right. Knowing that you're being heard. And instead of, being treated like, I have to fight for my right as a customer, they now feel that the telco is on their side.
Yes.
And they're doing their best to resolve this.
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
Awesome. And, going back to U9 as one of the major operator in Myanmar, we know Myanmar is a fast-growing market today, and with a lot of untapped potential, right? So, where do you see the biggest opportunities for telecom growth and innovation is it in the country?
Okay, this is exactly where Myanmar, Tara, I think is the last high-growth market in Asia, right? Because the rest have opened up, Cambodia or Vietnam, and all of that has opened up. So Myanmar is the last stronghold where even the data coverage and population that have access to data is smaller compared to all the other regions in Southeast Asia, especially. And this is where we feel like if we serve the underserved, right, especially bringing out not only telco services, but services that are fundamental, such as education, such as health, like telehealth, teleeducation, and all of that through our platform. That will be our winning combo, I would say, because not only you are gaining some revenue, of course, as a business, right, in opening up this market and everything else, but also serving people on their most basic needs, which is where Myanmar is now. There's still a lot of needs for those even basic services such as health and education.
So coverage is something that
coverage is
something that you guys are working on.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you're trying to bring all these add-on services and then create the experience. That's very important.
Yes.
That's I guess at the end of the day, we had a few conversations earlier today, and then they were saying that people don't know what technology you're using, what platforms you deploy, but they only know experience.
Correct.
What experience to deliver. And that's what I think CMO's main job is.
Exactly.
Making sure that experience is top notch.
Correct.
Thank you
Thank you so much, Tara, for having us.
Hendra, I guess you've given us some great insights, and especially for Myanmar, we feel that it's a very interesting market, and then there's we need to discover a lot more, and I hope we can reconnect again.
Sure, for sure.
And,
lovely to meet you.
Yeah, lovely to meet you.
Right.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.